It's the Real Ninja Reviews podcast. We want to welcome you. Just pull up, smoke up, chill out, relax, and join us for the ride. Smitty Smith, host, co-host here, sitting to my left. Saucy J.
Yo, what's poppin'? Hello, world.
We got my man sitting to the left, Saucy J. We got my man's B New.
Hey, what's cracking, y'all?
The boy Shine Two Stacks coming live from the Spoiler Kingdom.
Yeah, Melly Mel, BKA, MTM, you know what I'm saying? Flexing all through the show.
Every time you hear a recording, whenever you see anything with Real Ninja Reviews on it, you never know who it's going to be, but you know it's going to be quality. And you know who you're dealing with is going to be knowledgeable. And you're going to be a little bit entertained by hopefully you'll be entertained by our little silly little antics.
Yo, what's happening? Welcome to Real Ninja Reviews, episode 12. We made it to the dirty dozen. What's happening, y'all? It's your boy Smitty Smith, and we got the whole crew today. What's happening, everybody?
Some bullshit.
What up, though?
Poppin'.
Definitely some bullshit. Definitely. So
Absolutely.
normally for our episode, we had a whole episode planned out, man. We had segments planned out, these thought out, planned out segments for y'all. We gonna make sure we get them to y'all, but today just ain't the day, G. It's not the day. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna talk about what's happening in the world a little bit. So if you don't want to hear a few minutes of us talking about what's going on in our world, in our country, in our lives, then you can skip this episode. You know what I mean? Honestly, bro, you can leave us alone, because if you don't want to hear what's going on in our world and how we living and the harsh realities of what we going through, then you don't need to be here when we talking about fun recreational stuff either, bro. Like, for real. So skip this if you don't want to hear no real shit. If you want to hear some real shit, stick around and you might, you know what I mean? You might hear a perspective that you ain't thought about. So, anybody want to start off, man? We ain't got no organized way of doing this shit. We have, anybody got anything that they want to start this conversation on? How they feeling, what they done seen, what they done experienced themselves, stuff they done read, what they think is gonna happen. We can just start it off with how y'all feeling today. Like, how y'all feeling?
Man, angry as fuck. Like, I don't know about y'all, but like, this shit is just it's past the point where like you can like just roll over and go to sleep on this shit. Like, the entire country is like in a state of unrest, especially, our black community. It's ridiculous though. Like, from the youngest all the way to the great grandparents. I mean, you're talking 3-4 generations of just angry black people, like really upset at the way this entire thing is unraveled out, and people fed up. And on top of that, people ain't been working, like the whole job situation. I know even a couple of y'all are affected. So it's just kind of a mess right now, and everybody is frustrated as a collective.
That's a solid ass point. I thought that what you said, the timing, man. I think it's just the timing of all this. Obviously we know, sadly enough, there's been countless unarmed brothers getting killed by police. It's been happened multiple times. We've almost become numb to hearing it and seeing about it. But this one hit. It was like, what'd you say, Mel, earlier? The wrong thing at the right. What'd you say? The wrong thing at the right time.
The wrong thing at the right time.
Dog.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's exactly what it is, G. Because if this would have happened 6 months ago, we would have, sadly, again, let's be real, we would have been sorry about Big Floyd. You know what I mean? We would have been sorry. But G, like, it wouldn't have been this. This wouldn't have happened. So yeah, perfect timing, perfect storm, for real.
Yeah, perfect storm. And then just the instigation though by like the media is just ridiculous.
But that's something. But the real question is, are we surprised? Every time something like this happens, they always blame the victim. They always bring up something in the past about the victim instead of looking at the bigger problem.
Like,
of course.
They always bring up some shit from their past that don't got shit to do with anything. Like,
Yeah.
It's called justification, man. They be looking for reasons to explain what they did. And I don't care what you come up with. Ain't no reason for you to take nobody's life when they're not armed or threatening. Like there's no way that you can prove that. I mean, my dude is handcuffed on the ground. Like, there is no threat. It's 4-on-1. There is no threat.
Like, he posed no threat from jump.
Yeah, ain't no getting out of no handcuffs when you face down on the ground. Like, it's not possible, bro. Like,
not only that though, like, we know, like, coming up as kids though, like, if you got in a fight with somebody and they got 3 people with you, I mean, they got 3 people with them. Come on, man. Like, we all watch anime and all of that stuff, but let's be realistic, dog. You not about to whoop 4 people by yourself.
No, you ain't whipping for cops. Or if you swing, it's another charge on you. They got weapons. They got an attitude and angry already. I mean, we can get, you know what I mean, we everything we want to say, man, we speculate. Honestly, we are not people who've done any like investigations. I've done my own research, but I'm not an investigator. So everything we saying ain't coming from no expertise in terms of us being, you know, like we know what everything that's going on. We giving our opinions, like what we're speculating, the things that we're seeing, and we're already seeing that this man is obviously like the same playbook, man. Once a person is victimized like that, what they do is they justify it by villainizing the person and then dehumanizing said person, because for some reason in our country, the moment you become a criminal in the mainstream eyes, for some reason people say fuck you. I've never had a felony, I've never had a misdemeanor, I've never even been in fucking court. But the moment somebody does do that, they put it on the news like, oh, this nigga been in jail one time. He stole a shoe a few years ago, but now he deserved to die.
And then pick a picture when your youth with you clubbing and shit.
Right. Yeah, out here fucked up.
And I'll just give you all a different perspective from that. Is I've hired multiple like offenders or people that have crimes or felonies and shit. Like after so many years, that shit goes away, even from a hiring perspective. So like if you got stuff on your record, like I mean, it's a very, very large percentage of people in the United States of America that have done something wrong at some point in their life. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's not like it's some made up shit what I'm talking about. It's more so like, bruh, like if you a cop, you roll up on somebody, or you like, he looks like somebody that might murder a motherfucker. Like you can't have that perspective though. Like you can't.
We need to get. That's a solid point. My bad. Like I didn't want to make sure that we didn't
too far off.
Like the whys, like why? That's I think I want to talk about. Yeah, like why is this happening? I'll say like, why is the attitude? So you're scared, right? They're scared, and we know what scary does. Like we know what fear does to people. It makes you act irregular. If you're scared, you're surviving. You want to survive. You want to get away or stop or apprehend whatever that scary thing is. We want to stop.
That's the wrong job to be scared in, though.
Right?
Like, you can't.
That's
you can't do that.
That's exactly the point. That's the point. You can't
be
scared, man.
That's an even bigger issue because of the way they do their hiring process, though. The way they do it is it's really a book test. Like it's a book test. They don't do cultural background checks as far as like social skills with other people. Like it's the highest score gets in.
Couple things.
I just want to point out, say something real quick. We all know that it's a high stress job. Like, you know, you deal with criminals, you deal with people giving you attitude. So we all know that. The issue is of how do you handle like someone who's belligerent or non-belligerent. For example, Big Floyd didn't do anything, but you're scared because he's a tall black male. And because he seems like a tall, big black male, you're instantly wanting to shoot, or you instantly wanting to draw out your weapon. You see what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying, but it's like they automatically fear his capabilities.
Right.
And in that profession, that's not feasible though. That's not what they train you to do. You're trained to de-escalate,
to defuse.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
all that go out the window when you scared, though. That's what I'm saying.
That's true.
On top of that, though, like whenever there's like a point of arrest, cops have to call another officer close by. Like no cop is going to arrest somebody by themselves typically.
Exactly.
So if you know you got backup on the way or backup that's already there, like what's the point of even going through that? The dude's already detained, already cuffed. Like what's there to be afraid of? Like,
homie was terrified, man. We knew, and they knew each other. That's we've known that they've known each other, for a little bit of time. So it's a little bit deeper. We know it's more to it, but that shit, honestly, that don't even matter, man. The point, the training part, and that's important. What Mel hit on before Brian dropped that solid point. Mel was talking about the training. In other countries, cops actually have to do different kind of aptitude tests. Like if you're a cop in another country, you're the cream of the crop. If you're a cop like in Europe, if you're in Italy, if you're in Germany, you're in Britain, you're a cream of the crop. Like it's hard. You have to graduate from school with high marks. You got to be physically fit. You got to be mentally capable. It's all kind of different things that they got to do. So when you see a cop across seas, they're better. Like our cops, is not saying they're all bad. They're definitely not prepared though. So that's one of the many issues and why this shit is happening. It's the fear, and then it's the requirements, bro. If to become a cop or a firefighter, I remember I looked into it years ago, bro. If you can pass, that's all you gotta do is be able to not have a record. Mainly, obviously, you gotta pass a little test and shit. Any dumbass can pass that shit. If them dumbass motherfuckers who passed it and made it is in it, anybody can do that shit. It ain't overly hard. I seen the test. It's not hard. I actually take it and passed it to see if what I would do on it, and I did great because I was looking into what would be the requirements because I was amazed. All you got to do is main thing after you pass the test is you have to be able to pass a lie detector test that says you haven't bought or used drugs for like X amount of years or ever, but I'm pretty sure it's like a certain amount of time, and they make sure that you don't have a criminal background, like a record as an adult. That's it. And then after that is nepotism. So if you got a clean record, which I mean, it's not hard to have a clean record when everything is stacked in your favor. Obviously not for us. 1 in 4 of us end up in prison at some point. That's a statistic that's true. And fact is ain't arguable. So 1 in 4 of us go to jail.
Targeted too.
Where I mean, that's low hanging fruit. You know what I mean? Obviously, you're gonna get the low hanging fruit. You over police the areas that over police certain areas, and obviously you're going to arrest more people because you over police in that area. You're going to get all the warrants. They all going to get locked up and shit. So
right.
Yeah, so man, all right, so we can start switching gears up, and I want to ask y'all how y'all feel about the different people's responses. How y'all feel about the different people's responses? Starting with let's go good. Let's go favorable. What have y'all seen? You know what I'm saying, that y'all like from some of these responses, or whether it be protests, whether it be celebrities just saying stuff or doing stuff. What's some things that you've seen positive out of this situation?
Me personally, I seen the people with privilege actually speak up for us on a people of color behalf. Because like I feel like you sitting back being quiet, you not helping.
Nope.
So it's like
situation.
Like from what I seen personally, I seen Justin Timberlake say some shit, tell people that you gotta do some shit. And I seen I seen white people protecting protesters from police. Like people was protesting, they wasn't tripping, they was doing it the right way. They formed a line in front of the police because they was on some trash.
Like the Operation Human Barrier, like on South Park. Except it was the South Park movie, except it's reversed. Yeah.
Operation Get Behind the Darkies.
Right. Operation Get Behind the less melanated, nigga.
Yeah, cause on some real shit, if the privileged people don't say shit,
like You're right. If you have privilege, you have to speak up because the disenfranchised can't do it. I don't want to. And I'm get right back to your point, bro. Just like, and I say I clip this in social justice Smitty one time, bro. I try to just like how we fight for race. You know, we need allies. We need people who's not getting oppressed by this system to help. You know what I'm saying? To help support and then be allies and help advocate and fight with us for us. As men, we have to do the same thing to women in this patriarchal society that we're in. We have to. It's our job. We have power. As men, we have to. There's certain things we have to say. There's certain things we have to do. At certain times, we got to step in front and take them bullets for the women, so they won't have to deal with that shit because we have power. And some dudes, they won't say shit to us. They won't do certain things to us that they would to these women. Just like in this situation, or with the more of a racial situation, we need to have those allies. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, that's dope. I seen some pretty dope ass shit too. That's dope. That's a good observation, Sean, for real. Like it is.
And on a me personally, on the negative side, them agitators, like people that's not even fucking there to help. Like I seen one, I'm pretty sure everybody else have, where they purposely put a pile of bricks in a shopping district or somewhere. Like,
I seen that. It was stacked. It was like 3.5, 4 feet high, stacked full of like handheld bricks. I was like perfect for throwing. I'm like, they didn't even get them big cinder block daddies. They got them. They got the hand. Damn, that's fucked up.
And then another one. It was a peaceful protest. It was like a whole bunch of people. Seen two people with super masked up. You couldn't even see who they was. They're spraying BLM on Starbucks, kill the police and shit. And they like, what are you doing? This is not what we doing. And it's like, damn.
Plants, bro.
Yeah,
it's so much deeper, man. Like it's
so
much deeper.
It's just that, and then I know y'all seen some of the videos where the cops agitated the protesters that's already fuming and mad.
Mm.
If a grown ass man pushed me like with two hands to my chest,
push that girl,
and I take two. If I take 2 to 3 steps back, I think that's a fight initiating move. Like, bro, like
that's a shove.
Immediately,
like you were inviting me to do something violent back to you, like point blank. Period. Like how we came up. Like nobody's supposed to put their hands on you without reason or cause. Like everybody is within their right to protest. That's part of the Constitution, man. Everybody's got a free right to speech, man. So if they know that we're going to protest, why the fuck are people like agitating things? Why are you coming out here in riot gear? You're inciting that somebody is going to do something negative to you. Like if you coming out here, somebody coming out here fully equipped with like ARs and like, you know what I mean? You got pepper spray guns and like you firing at the media. That stuff is real time though. Like, so you can see it the moment it happens in another city. You know, like,
did you see the wooden? I seen somebody get hit with wooden bullets and shit. Some girl got her shit split with wooden bullets. People getting gashed. Wooden bullets though.
Yeah,
that's fucking nuts.
For me, the biggest positive I've seen, besides what Sean has said about, you know, people of different races stepping up for us and actually speaking out. You know, I've seen a couple times on different articles where different police departments have actually joined the protest with the protesters.
Yeah,
I think that is a really big step of people actually attempting to understand, you know, what we go through as African American males from the time that we're kids until adulthood. You know, like me personally, I've been in situations where I've been pulled over by the cops for no reason, and going to work,
you know,
getting off school,
getting off the highway,
shopping,
literally getting off the highway from school,
working out, chilling,
coming back from driving my mom's car to the store for her. Like I've been literally pulled over in front of my mom's house from driving her car, and she came out and the police officer told her to go back in the house.
Nigga, I had a cop literally pull a gun out on me in front of our house. Me and Sid. I know Sid probably remember that we were 16, 17. Nigga, pull a gun out, just like he said, right. He put a gun out on us for no reason. He didn't have the lights on. He didn't pull us over. He just came up behind us and had his gun out at us. Then we were out moving. He didn't say stop. He didn't say freeze. My nigga just had his gun out at us. 16 years old. We some kids, bro. Kids.
Too much. I think another thing, like not to get too deep into it, but as a people, we're fed up and we're frustrated. Like honestly, since the quarantine, we've had 2 different cases of 2 black males being killed
and a female
senseless.
And a female. Don't forget R.I.P. Breonna Taylor. We're not gonna forget her. I talk all that stuff about us standing up for the women. Breonna Taylor, we need to fight and speak up for her, just like we are doing for Big Floyd and everybody else. So we can't forget Miss Taylor though. Rest in peace.
Right. But like I was saying, like
wake up, Brian.
It's to the point where we fed up, man. Like, like we've done peaceful protesting, we've done boycotts, we've done all of those things, and we've been doing those things. Like this isn't like, the part that frustrates me the most is, they look at the absolute now, like what's going on. Like, okay, people are rioting because of George Floyd or Breonna Taylor or Ahmaud Arbery. Like it's not just that. It's a whole timeline of what's been going on. You know what I mean? Like this is 400 years in the making. Like you had, Martin Luther King do his thing, as far as a peaceful protest, and he's assassinated. Malcolm X does his thing, he's assassinated. Like it's been times where we try to
COINTELPRO, the Black Panthers. I mean, you can keep going, bro. They done took out rapper leaders. They took out anybody who speak out, bro. Like so,
it's an accumulation of events over this timeline that we've all been alive. Our parents been alive. Our grandparents been alive, all the way back until our ancestors. Man, like it's so much built up over the course of time that people are just fed up. Like, at what point can you take any more, and then you just reach your breaking point? And I think that's where people are at this point.
Mixed with the pandemic, because we saying all this shit, but we ain't even got our minds on the fact that all these people are sick and shit, and was all the nonsense. Now we can't. That's another one of those things we can talk about: the whys, the hows, but we need to worry about what the realities are and what's going to be the outcomes of these things. What are the
solution?
Outcomes? What are going to happen, and what are the things that's happening behind the scenes right now? Like, why are these things happening? We got to look at the laws and the bills that are being passed that's going on right now. We got to look at the political posturing that's being done, because it's important. That's all underlying. This shit ain't just happening for no reason, bro. Like this shit ain't happening for no reason.
I want to say something. I want to say something. For certain people, I think that they need to stop talking about black on black crime, because when situations like this happen, we start hearing about all lives matter or blue lives matter. All I want to say is, for people who like to say that they have to understand that crime happens when you live next to somebody.
Proximity crime.
Yeah, which you're saying. So pretty much there's no such thing as black on black crime. Also, when it comes to black on black crime, if a black person kills another black person, he's gone for life. He doesn't get off of the crime. But if a white cop kills a unarmed black male, he gets off. But if a black cop kills an unarmed white male, he goes in for life. That's what people need to understand.
Even within Minnesota itself, that I think it was a brother of Somali descent or Ethiopian descent. One of the East African. I can't remember, honestly. I don't want to mess it up. But he was like descended from one of the East African people from one of the East African countries. Cop there in Minnesota. Remember, he shot that white lady in the alley or some shit. One bullet, boom, because he was startled and scared. Pulled his pistol out, shot her. That nigga's in jail for 12 years. They arrested him like that day. I remember when that shit happened. That wasn't that long ago.
I remember that.
That just happened. That happened like within this year. Like that was like within the last 12 months or so.
But that's But that's where the frustration lies.
Yeah,
that's where some people don't understand. Like if an unarmed white male or unarmed white woman is killed by a black officer, they're not getting off of that crime. Nope. It's going to be they're going to jail, they're getting fired, whatever. But when it's reversed, they get to chill, they get their job back. They get to,
but they might not necessarily get that job back. But saying here's another one of those other deeper, more problematic issues. When these cops get fired from these districts or precincts or whatever that they get fired from,
another one.
They just go to a different state, different county or whatever. Fuck it, like
paid leave,
paid leave, and they get the paid leave to get to a new job. They gonna get all the accolades from all their homies and shit. Not only that, them niggas probably gonna get a book deal. And they're going to have a whole bunch of these supporters filling up a GoFundMe for them. So they're going to be paid. Like, homie, I believe this cop now, again, this is speculative. The things I've seen and read was that even though they say he was, again, air quotes, turned himself in, whatever, he's under protective custody. So, I mean, man, who's to say that, whatever, man. It took days for him to even do that. Who's to say they did that? So, and then the autopsy report, I mean, we got the third degree charge. So that in itself
that in itself is fucking infuriating.
But did you hear why?
Because you went from first degree to third degree.
Bro, when they kill a police dog, that's third degree.
Yep. So, I mean, I will say this, man. There are the police union, because that's what it is a part of the political system that has been built up from the very beginning since its origin, right? Like, it's an enforcement agency. Like this, like, I don't know if people understand. Anything that's got a political tie to it is going to have some type of way to, like, get rid of some of their crimes. You're going to push some of that shit back. You're going to have a way.
You got judges in the pocket. You got all the you got attorneys, all the DAs and stuff. Because
I mean, if you ever been to court before, like, your attorney knows all the judges. They know all the other attorneys. They know the prosecutors. Like, it's not like it's some, random attorney that popped up in town. Like, everybody knows everybody in the court system.
Like, they know. Just so everybody know, like, the district attorney, it's the district attorney's decision or choice to prosecute police officers. So y'all know that. And you choose district attorneys by county or by state. So those are local elections that people need to be voting in. I know that's a taboo and a scary word for motherfuckers for some reason. But voting in your local elections can help with some of these things, because you elect DAs, the district attorneys, the people who would or would not prosecute the police officers. So we seeing where their loyalties lie. The loyalties lie with the people who lying in their pockets, the ones who panel, the ones who got them elected into them places. That's really the main thing. These people want to keep their political careers going, so they're going to support the people who supported them. How much money has air quotes, killing them tonight. I mean, as the black community, how much money has the black community given a specific candidate, like, or their party or anything? Mm-hmm. None, because we don't do it as a group. We don't do it economically as a group. So
we don't have
these DAs is going to they're going to protect the cops. They're going to protect the people who put them in the position to succeed. Which is fucked up, but it makes fucking sense. And
it also helps the police. It also helped the police when the number one person in the United States also has an agenda to protect wrongdoers in the police enforcement.
He's protecting his supporters, the people who got him elected, the people who's keeping his political aspirations alive, as shallow as they may be. Those aspirations of our orange president. He doing what's right for his career, just fucked up for us and most people.
I mean,
but for his folks,
at the end of the day, we knew that's who he was from the very beginning too, though.
Yeah, that's why he got voted into office, though.
Right, that's why he in there. They want to do the complete opposite of President Obama. He wanted to just do the complete opposite. He ain't do nothing wrong to them motherfuckers. Actually, them working class, broke ass motherfuckers who supporting this current president and love him so much and hated Obama simply for the color of his skin, they were living better under Obama than they are living now under Trump.
But they don't care though.
Nope, they don't give a fuck. And they think the complete opposite. So that's scary, man. You ain't. It's hard to beat that. So
I mean, you can't beat brainwashing, bro. Like it's impossible. Like that's what it really is. Like if you can't see
brainwash, that was more like that was taught and brought up. They ain't even need. They don't need to do too much brainwashing.
That was instilled.
Yeah, that's instilled. That wasn't.
So you said that's part of that underlying privilege that everybody.
It ain't underlying, nigga. That shit is taught.
That's bold and italic, bro.
Did y'all see y'all see they had them little fucking kids on the front lines? Did y'all see that shit? Motherfucking crazy ass motherfuckers had they kids. These little
the worst
kids.
thing I seen was that black grandma hugging on Trump's arm though. That took the cake for me. That was a lot.
They pulling out all the. I think
like come on,
that shit wasn't recent, but that shit is.
Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, but still though, like the tactics though, like it's just the tactics.
Or the one he in a car with three black dudes smoking a blunt.
Yeah, Photoshop that damn blunt. I wouldn't smoke with Trump though. I ain't too many people I wouldn't smoke with. He'd be one because I can't. I didn't heard motherfuckers whack ass freestyles. I didn't heard people plenty of terribly creative ideas, terrible and creative, all of that. And I wouldn't want to hear this motherfucker when he's smoking. G, like no, hell no.
Fuck dude.
Well, fuck him, but fuck what he represent because I mean he don't give a fuck. It don't bother him. I don't think he cared too much either way. Honestly, he a piece of shit anyway. Like he don't give a shit. He only care about him and himself and his family being cool. Again, which is something that people I don't know why y'all gotta see that's what's going on, bro. He looking out for his folks, so he gonna do whatever. Like all this other ignorant shit that he doing, yeah. That shit is fucking, but look at the outcomes. Like, look what's really happening. Look at the outcomes, and then look what's happening. Like a couple layers under the surface. Yeah, what's a couple layers under the surface? What's underneath up under there, man? Like, dog. Yeah, come on.
I got a question for y'all.
What's up?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
Imagine if nobody like protested or nothing. How long you think it would have took, or if anything, do you think they would have arrested that cop?
No.
No, he wouldn't have got arrested. We already know that shit. It took all of this, and it took him 4-5 days to get him now. And
charging.
So with me asking y'all that, and we know and we openly all know that they wouldn't have did shit if we didn't protest or be enraged by that. What you think it'd take for these motherfuckers to realize that we are fucking human beings too?
Good question.
That's deep.
It's hard and dangerous to try to play on the morality of the immoral. They ain't never gonna see us as human beings, no matter what they say. That fear won't let them do it. For a lot of
intimidation and don't let them do it.
The fear of them, the fear. I don't even want to get into all those fears, bro. We'd be listening. That book would be long as hell. The fear alone would keep them from seeing us as human beings, because if they seen us as human beings, they would have to look at themselves in the mirror and realize the fucked up shit that's going on. Whether they're the ones doing it or they're the ones allowing it to happen and they just turning a blind eye to it. Either way, just as guilty.
That too, and if we were supposed to be, quote unquote, seen as, equals or human beings, then we wouldn't have this separate agenda that's going on right now. We wouldn't have all these different groups that are pitted against each other, and not even just on the black and white level, but just all over the course of the United States. Yeah, like it's so much. It's so many levels, man.
The fact that it's bills right now that's been, put out, that's been out for years, like just to give us equality, that says it right there.
I mean, we've only had the right to vote for about 60 years. It's not a long time. So before that, we weren't even allowed to vote for our officials. So when people talk about, I ain't voting, I'm like, nigga, we never really started. And I'm not about to act like I'm just the strongest advocate for voting. I just think we need to do a little bit more of that shit. For real, as a group, especially locally.
A lot of more of that.
You just gotta pay attention to the officials that you selected, man. Like you gotta do some background on everybody. Needs to be vetted.
You got to be a responsible citizen. We're not okay, and that's another solid point. Say we can pivot. We're not being solid. We're not being good citizens. We're not. We're terrible citizens. We have a lot of responsibilities that we don't keep and that we don't fulfill. You know, and part of that is being knowledgeable about your laws and the world around you and your elected officials and things of that nature. Obviously, why the fuck would we not? We know when the playoffs about to come on. We know when the animes is about to come on.
Which is interesting though, because our public school curriculums don't touch on any of that shit at all.
Right.
Like all the way up until you were a senior in high school. You don't even know like about most of the voting process and how to get this information on these people and what to look for and how to develop your own political identity. Like nobody knows this stuff until like you probably had that talk with your parents or some of your friends when you get to college or you get old enough to give a fuck enough. But at that point, though, you've already missed enough chances to vote for somebody that you should have voted for. Like you just so far back in the game. I think it just starts with education, man. It's got to. Like we gotta like.
That's true. That's facts. Education.
The school system, though, the way the school system is set up, though, man, that's a whole nother conversation.
Right, that's a whole nother.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't mean to go down that rabbit hole.
Ones, but yeah, we got a few that
we
whole
nother rabbit hole.
A few holes that we dodged already. So
that's
one.
Yeah, I'm just so frustrated at the overall situation, though. Like, it's just so many factors that play into this shit that
you got the
people
right,
don't
you
really.
Got the right. Go ahead. You got it.
No, you good. You got it.
No, I was just saying, like, you got the right to be frustrated, man. We all are, and that's where it's at right now. The fact that we all frustrated in our own way, and that's why everything that's happening outside, as far as riots and looting and all of that other thing, like that's everybody expressing their frustration in their own way. And you know, the main thing that I say about it is, you know, like a lot of people look at it as a negative, with the rioting and the looting. That's not like peaceful protesting, but at the end of the day, man, you can't really tell somebody how to react after being frustrated and so fed up with the things that we've dealt with as a people for over 400 years. You can't put a gauge on that.
No.
Everybody is gonna feel a way about it, and you know, as bad as it is to say, like, you know, it's unorganized, but we all trying to get the same point across.
Right.
And with that, and what's going on right now, we got their attention. But
also, I just want to go ahead.
The bigger thing is, now that we got their attention, now what? What do we do next?
Yeah, we got that attention. What are we gonna do with that attention?
Exactly.
What's the solution? How are we going to change all this?
I got a question.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Brian.
Go ahead, Jay.
No, go ahead, Brian.
All I was going to say is, like, I just wanted the listeners and stuff to know that each and every one of us have had some encounter with the cops as far as unethical, pulled over for no apparent reason. As Mel said, he got pulled over. Smitty, as y'all heard, had a gun pulled on him. So it's not like
shit's happened happened 5 times. That was one.
Right.
That was the second time.
I've been pulled over so many times. I've lost count.
I'm talking about literal guns being drawn.
Oh, the gun situation.
Out of a holster, pointed at me. I'm talking about out of a holster and pointed at me, at my body, at my person.
I've had that a couple times myself.
And what people don't understand is they give you some bullshit. Like, when I got pulled over, they told me my tail light was out, but I'm looking at my tail light and I know it wasn't out. And I'm like, okay, that's the type of stories that they tell you. And then they told me I had a warrant in Cincinnati. That ain't make any fucking sense. I've been in Cincinnati years.
You doing in the nasty natty?
Hey,
nasty in the natty, boy.
Hey, why? But check. Hold on, Jay. Let me get this real quick.
You got it.
I remember it was 2014. I was leaving my cousin's house, going to the corner store. My mom was making burgers. No, my grandma was making burgers. So I went to Petro's. You know they got the drive-through carry out. So I came around my grandma's street, then I came down and around to go to the drive-through. I couldn't even make it to the drive-through because I got blooped. And I'm just sitting here like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? And then he grabbed the door handle. I'm looking at him. And then I look back. It's like 12 police cars.
Dog, whose shit is that, man?
Right.
What?
That ain't like his phone ain't ringing.
It was probably my phone vibrating.
He was just trying to talk through it.
That shit ain't vibrating. You don't hear that? You didn't hear it? That is your phone. It gotta be yours. That be
it was vibrating.
Oh,
we like, no, that ringer was going.
Coming through.
What you talking about?
Yeah, it's coming through.
I thought I ain't.
Oh, no wonder. Yeah, I about to say, man, this nigga is determined. He undeterred.
I couldn't
get this. I'm gonna get this off my chest.
Yeah.
So I pulled around. And I see they all behind me. I'm like, what the fuck? So I see why he grabbed the door. I unlocked it. He was like, can you just walk to the back of your car? And I'm fucking shitting bricks because it's like fucking 8 or 9 to 10, 11 sheriffs. My ass, but I'm 6'3", 300 pounds.
Oh, you a little nigga. All right.
Cool. So look, they all bro, but like to be on some real shit, like, what the fuck am I, like an alien that got powers or something? Like, this nigga had an assault rifle, 2 rifles, and the dude that told me to get the car had his taser and his gun in the other hand. So I go to the back, I'm standing there, the other dude grabbing me by the seat of my pants buckle, and I'm like, what is this about? He like, what did the other guy say? Wait and see. And I'm like, and so like I'm sitting there, and
super nigga.
And look, and I'm sitting from across the angle. I see the dude, the undercover, right? I see his open face putting a little thing on. Tell me, now mind you, y'all know what color my Regal was. Said, yeah, we had information about a blue Regal selling weed around here.
Weed? Niggas came down with a nigga for some weed?
Bro, I'm like, so I'm like, y'all came ready, like y'all about to fucking get some, you know what I'm saying? Like on some other shit for me and some weed. Bro, and then like
it was scary, nigga.
Bro, and like after he seen it wasn't me, my record clean as fuck. Tickets, no nothing. I think no tickets, but anyway.
They knew that. They knew that before. They knew that before they knew that shit before they got the cards.
They over though. They knew that shit. And then the motherfuckers I was being a dick gonna say, damn, you must have threw it out.
Wow.
And then like the other 4 still waiting on me to say something smart back. Y'all know how slick my fucking mouth is. But I ain't say shit just because of the fact that these niggas fucking armed up. For my
they can use it against you. They use it against. I mean, they
were trying to bait you, bro.
They never read you your Miranda rights, I'm sure.
No, but they didn't read shit,
and they was waiting on you to say some shit so they can
say
that you threatened them. That's how they had to say. Yep, that's how they do. Say they were scared.
That's another part of the thing, though. Like, we got to be educated as far as what's going on with, you know, what they're supposed to do and what they're not supposed to do. And when they pull us over, they automatically assume that we don't know. So, you know, they figure we can say whatever we want to, and they just gonna be compliant. And when they're not compliant, then that's when we do whatever we want to anyway.
Yep.
Great,
that's
great
actually,
point.
That's it.
And bro,
I mean, they.
Go ahead, Jerry.
My bad. No, I was just saying. I mean, they use that as like the intimidation tactic because they probably know
exactly
that most of us is gonna be nervous when we even get stopped in the first place. So if they go out of step, you're not even gonna question it because you so afraid of like resisting the officer or whatever the fuck they might say you're doing.
That's how they got that. They get us with that feel. But if you
and they be waiting for you to say something, you could tell when they waiting for it. As soon as you say what you say,
like knowledge is power. Once you know what can be said, because it's difference between like commands. You know what I mean? Commands and questions. It's different. It's a difference between being, you know, if you're being detained or if you're not being detained. These things are different. Like, they can ask questions. They can say, "Would you like? Can you get out of the car?" and shit. They can ask you these things, and you can say no. So you got to know what things, you know what I'm saying, the things you can decline and things you can, the things, and we got to know how to answer, and we got to know when to answer. And niggas can't be all these. That's one thing we can't do. As whack as all this shit is, and it shouldn't be our responsibility, but we always the ones that got to remain calm and level-headed and shit first, so we can make sure that we ain't about to fucking die. Then we can fight for our freedom. We shouldn't have to do none of this shit. This shit is horrible, and I'm pretty sure there's a whole bunch of our listeners. There's a whole bunch of our listeners who aren't our color, our hue, or may not even be from our country. You know, because I see the numbers and see the stats. There's people from outside the country. Yo, shout out to our homies in Africa and Asia. Yo, shout out, man. So, but it's people that haven't lived like us, haven't been here like us, they don't look like us, they haven't lived the experiences that we've lived, and they won't understand at all. So
yeah, I mean, you wake up every day and everybody your people, man, it's kind of different. Like, you know, if all you see is chocolate when you wake up every single day, I mean, you wouldn't have that underlying prejudice. You know what I mean? Like, it just wouldn't be that much of a thing. But I do have one question for y'all fellas.
Colorism and shit exists in other places. So, I mean, like, black folks.
Yeah,
they definitely embrace colorism. So you got that.
So, fellas,
getting
back to that solution point. I think this has always kind of been a question more recently than not. Considering the previous revolutions and the previous like protests and things of that nature, do you think us as, you know, people of color, in our area, which is the U.S., do we need a central figure or a central leader to band people together, or do you think it should be more of a attack different fronts type of deal? Like,
can't be a leader. Multiple reasons. Besides the obvious, they end up taking him or her out. Besides him or her being taken out, I think honestly, with this culture that we live in, and how we judge people, and how people dislike people and don't want to be in step before these minor and very, very basic and pointless sometimes and immature and all of the above and all of the below reasons why people won't follow somebody, no matter how qualified or no matter how just right that person may be. So yeah, so for those reasons, they'll get taken out, and two, we're a little too critical over people that have one solid leader. I don't think one solid leader do. I think we need to do it as a group. We need a collective. We need like 5 or 6 leaders of different backgrounds, with different, because you're gonna need somebody who can speak with the street niggas. You're gonna need somebody who can speak with the upper middle class. You're gonna need people to speak with the working class. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna need a message to be able to get to the youth. You need a message that you can get to just continue to perpetuate. You need all kinds of people for things of that nature. So yeah, so I don't think one would do. I think we need a handful. Just my opinion, obviously.
I mean, my thoughts on that. I think, you know, we have, you know, like NAACP leaders, and that's all across. You know, like, I feel like, you know, every state could really, like, if they wanted to, come up with their own plan, and maybe like every leader from each state could meet and come up with a devised plan as a group, you know, for the entire 50 states of what's going on, you know, like that way you don't really collectively have one sole leader. You got 50 different leaders of each state, you know, meeting and coming up with, you know, guidelines as far as like how we protest or what we need to do to finally like get to the point where we're getting our point across and coming up with a solution. You know, like, I don't feel like that's too far-fetched to do. But you know, a lot of people really always look for like some type of celebrity figure to do those things. But it really starts with yourself, though, man. Like you have to be fed up with yourself. In yourself, you have to be fed up to be able to want to make change and to figure out what it is for you that you feel like you need to do to make a change. Like I personally already feel a change within myself from being, as a black man going through those situations all the way up from a kid till now, and not wanting to see our kids go through those same situations. Like one thing I do want to say is like I've never just like had just black friends. I've had friends of every race. Still have friends of every race, so like I don't want to just sit up here and just be like all white people are bad or make, because that's not it.
I want to generalize, right?
Yeah. Right. That's not it. Like what it is understanding of what's going on and the understanding of what we have to go through. If you understand that or even attempt to try to understand that, then you get the why of what's going on.
There's like a South Park, that one South Park episode. They made a real solid point. I can't remember which one it was, but it was just if people would just understand that they don't understand and then listen to your point, man. That's all they gotta do. They tried, and you can get the why. Just get that you don't get it. People who are not of our hue are these white folks. These people who are not black folks, or people who not fighting these same battles. Y'all got your own battles y'all got to deal with. We ain't talking about that right now. We talking about the battles we dealing with in this situation and our response to it. And we're telling y'all that if y'all, first thing y'all got to do is understand in y'all minds, y'all got to accept that y'all don't get it. Once y'all do that, you will be able to get further. I had to do that with myself about the women. Then I'm gonna go back to that. I had to just accept, like, I don't get it. I will never understand what it's like to be a woman. I will never understand those issues that they got to deal with. I would never understand the problems, the tribulations, all the expectations, all the double standards, none of it. I will never get it. And because once I was able to accept that I would never get it, I was able to start listening better. I'm still getting better at it. I'm far from perfect at it, but that's what we need from our allies. We need allies that can actually see that they don't get it, and then they'll be able to actually understand a little bit better. And like I say, and again, ain't nobody begging nobody for nothing. If ain't nobody doing that shit, it ain't our responsibility to teach you and tell you to do it.
Hell no.
I ain't never for. I mean, I'm not, and it's only I ain't speaking for. Obviously, I ain't the nigga representative. But that, yeah. It's just speaking for me, man.
Well, all I'm gonna say is that with the solution, maybe we should stop relying on certain people and rely on ourselves. And what I mean by that is something. If y'all remember the Harlem Renaissance, right, where they pretty much had their own business, they like pretty much like their own city or whatever. What I'm saying is maybe
that city that they burned down.
Black Wall Street was right before
they tore that shit up too.
Yeah, right. What I'm saying is maybe we as a collective should start doing our own things and, having our own police. And, I'm not saying inciting violence, or I'm not saying, so I want the listeners to understand, I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is that maybe we as Black people, as a collective, should start doing our own thing and, having our own, it's not coming out right. Our own situations.
I get what you're saying, but my next question to that
is not coming out right.
My next question is, but can we though?
I mean, to be. I mean, that's sovereignty. That's ruling yourself. To be able within American, within our country, to be able to do that. I mean, that takes money and that takes voting. Again, like you vote in the sheriff. Like when you got a town,
that's true.
You vote the sheriff in. You know what I mean? So shit, you vote the judges in, you vote the DA in. If you got motherfuckers within your constituency and y'all all together in the same constituency and y'all on the same page, y'all can vote the right motherfuckers in.
Yeah, and like you said earlier, we like you said earlier, like the voting, we pick those people. We can't pick those people if we don't show up to vote.
That's true. I also agree that education is also extremely important as far as educating ourselves on who we're voting for, how we can fix it.
Yeah, and not saying like nobody told you about this stuff. Like you got to take it upon yourself to research this information about these people and the things they want to do.
Being better citizens, yo. For real.
I think we should just stop saying, "Oh, I don't vote because I feel like my vote doesn't matter." That needs to stop because especially locally. You're right.
I mean, it won't go anywhere if you don't place it anywhere. Like you're just going to go into a neutral or negative balance at that point. Like you can't affect any change if you don't go out to make the change yourself, though. Like, it ain't like we can just all give all our votes to a person and then that person can go vote for us. Though, like this shit just don't work that way. Like so, it starts with the youth and getting them. I mean, we're past the point of calling ourselves the youth at this point. I'm talking about like fresh out of high school. You know, fresh out of
fucking youth, man. We are.
We OGs. You OGs.
Not yet. That's y'all ain't say it.
Speak for yourself, brother.
That's deep. Right. I didn't say that. I did not say that. G. I did not finish. That was a very incomplete thought and sentence. Yeah, I did not finish that one.
Speak for yourself.
That's another thing with the youth. It's a sad that we as African Americans have to tell our youth not to wear hoodies. Be careful what shoes you wear. When the officer talk, you say yes, sir, no, ma'am, yes, ma'am. That's what we have to teach our children. And like I said, for the listeners not African American, that's another thing that we're just explaining, how we have to be careful what we wear, how we say it, because you have a trigger happy police officer or officer ready for you to say something.
But but to be honest with you, the fact that that's an issue is already fucked up.
Right.
Right.
That shouldn't be an issue.
Right. But that's again, that's reality, right? You said it shouldn't be an issue, but it's our whack ass reality. Well, yeah, because it's our harsh reality.
Because like if you think about it, I'm just gonna say this. All five of us in the car, right? We all got fitteds home. And the police behind us. What's happening next?
That light coming on.
They coming up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like
that fitteds, yeah. Fitteds is the get pulled over uniform. I keep my seatbelt on. I keep my seatbelt on. I ain't gotta worry about that. Keep that seatbelt on. Keep your seatbelts on. Keep your seatbelts on. Don't get ejected from the car. Keep that seatbelt on. No, but hey, yo, stuff's starting to die, like battery wise. So yeah, we got to start getting there. So anybody got parting words, parting shots? Oh, I think we had talked, but we probably end up putting out. We gonna end up putting out our kind of more scheduled and typical episode shit. We gonna talk, and I'm sure we gonna get some segments and stuff out for y'all. But this one, it wasn't for that. This one wasn't for that. So anybody got? I don't have anything else to say. Very much so needed. This is it's incomplete too. There's so much more we could say. So much more we didn't say. So many places we could go. So many different people we could talk to. But we gonna stop it here. I ain't got nothing else to say. Once I say this, I'm out. And then once we done, we done. So hey, I say what I gotta say. So yeah.
Yeah, good stuff, man.
Mine is stay safe, be safe, think smart, and be aware of what's going on around you at all times, because you never know when it could be your turn to be pulled over for something that really could have been nothing that could turn into something. So and for my friends of different races, just actually really just make sure that you're aware of really what we go through in life, and try to find out, like, from us, what it is that we go through. All it is one conversation. That's all it is. It's a conversation. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard for you to understand, but if you listen, you might get it. I'm out with that.
Well, all I
just want to. Oh, go ahead.
All I got to say is, If you don't know, educate yourself. If you got questions, ask them. Even if you're scared to ask them, just present them in the best way you can. And other than that, my birthday in 30 minutes.
Fuck your birthday.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that.
I forgot. I should pull up and beat your ass right now.
Yeah, I whoop your ass on my birthday. Come on.
No, man, you got old school birthday licks.
Let me go get my 9 iron. Come on, Mel.
I just want to say,
reference.
I just want to say, shout out to my kids because they were part of the, the protests, and they're home safe. So I just want to say, shout out to y'all. I love y'all.
That's it.
That's all I have. Oh yeah, these Cavs, baby. That's all I want to say, y'all. Represent.
No,
Cleveland.
that's it.
No,
cut it.
Yeah.
We done. Wrap it up.
No one says that.
Wrap it
No
up.
one says that.
Yeah, that LeBronless Cavs. Yeah.
Anything, Saucy?
The last thing I got is just, man, have some awareness, man. That's all, like Mel was saying. Just be smart, be safe, and try to go out here in one piece and make it back home in one piece, man. Shit's
Absolutely.
real. It can definitely get realer. We all heard that comment, about the shooting and the looting, though. So, just be safe and just make sure you pay attention to what's going on around you 100%, man. Especially if you're out here in these streets. That's all I got.
Be out there.
Peace.
Peace. Why shit on me still? I ain't even say nothing.
And it's still recording.